Hello, I am back. You may have heard today that Nintendo announced that the Wii U is coming out on November 18th, and you're having two bundles. The basic pack for $2.99, which is just pretty much the system from what I can tell, and the deluxe pack that's going to be the system, charger for the Wii U gamepad, and include the Nintendo Land game, more memory. I think it's going to be 32 instead of 8 for the included memory on there, and it's going to be $349, so $50 more for all that, which is probably going to be the one that I go with, because I planned on buying the game anyway. So bundle pack's always the way to go. But with finally announcing the price of it, there of course was the reaction on the internet. And if you go on the internet at all, you'll notice that there's several groups, shall we say, and each one seems to be oblivious of any evidence that may contradict their cherished positions. The first group is the one that always amuses me. It's the ones that are always first to say, they're basically obsessed with the technical specs. The system's not powerful enough. It's barely better than the Xbox 360 or PS3. Nintendo wants people to pay $300 for old technology. And again, the point's been made numerous times. Nintendo never tries to win the hardware battle. They never have. Look at their history. The Game Boy was the biggest selling system, and it was by far not the least advanced handheld, but there was several systems that were technologically better. The hardware was better on a lot of systems, but they didn't sell. Why? Because the Game Boy had the games. It had Tetris, it had Mario, it had games people wanted to play. If you look back at Nintendo's history, none of their systems were ever the most advanced of their era, but they almost always had the games everybody wanted to play. That's why Nintendo is Nintendo. The second camp that always intrigues me is the people who just can't seem to get enough of pointing out that Nintendo targets kids and everything is kid friendly, and they don't have enough blood and guts games on their systems, which is always interesting to me, because if you're about my age, which is 34 if you're wondering at home, when Super Mario Brothers came out, we were about 7-8 years old, and guess who Nintendo's still marketing to? They've never changed. People who got into Nintendo when they were little kids, you grew up. Sorry. You can still play Nintendo systems. Nobody's going to think any less of you. Their games are still really good. I just bought the new Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS. It's an awesome game. What can I say? It's not rated mature. There's no headshots. There's no blood and guts, but it's a really fun game. If that's not your thing anymore, there's no harm in that. If you want to keep playing, if you think playing violent games makes you more of a hardcore gamer, hey, different strokes, different folks. But to pretend that Nintendo somehow stopped making interesting games and challenging games and just really well-made games because they don't interest you personally, it just doesn't hold water. I kind of chalk that up to a bigger internet theory, where it seems with the explosion of the internet and it's easier to get people's opinions out to the masses, that there seems to be a thing where if somebody doesn't like what the company's doing, that means they're no good because they don't cater to you personally anymore. There's somebody out there that likes what somebody else is doing. You don't, doesn't mean it's worthless. It just means it's not your cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with a company making something that doesn't cater to your whims. It's a big world. Other people like things you don't. You like things other people don't. Just because it doesn't interest you doesn't mean it's not any good. Now, everything I've said, I do obviously since I'm wearing a shirt that has the logo of the Famicom Disk System on it, obviously I'm a Nintendo fan. I've been a fan for a long time. I at least try not to be just a blind zealot. I mean, they make decisions that I don't agree with. I don't just run out and do everything that they tell me to blindly. When the 3DS came out, I thought it was a little too expensive. I waited for the price drop. I'm not camping out on the sidewalk to pick up systems. I've probably waited at least 3-4 months before I picked up a Wii. So it's not like I have any blind devotion here to the company that anybody who says anything bad about them, I have to pick up my sword and take them down. It's just, a lot of the criticism I'm seeing is just really dumb. I mean, if you don't like it and you don't want to pick it up, that's fine. It's a free country. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to buy it. But to act like it's some kind of crime against gaming, that Nintendo's making a system that, by all accounts, is more powerful than the Wii. It's high definition. It's going to cater more to third-party publishers than the Wii did. It's going to be a little more grown-up as far as their approach. If you're going to act like that's a bad thing when it's what people were complaining about for the last few years, now they're doing it, and it's just coming off like people want something to complain about. It may just be Nintendo's just not the company for you anymore. And again, that's fine. But don't act like nobody can ever enjoy a Nintendo system anymore because you stopped. Personally, I'm not a big shooter fan. I mean, a lot of people love playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and all those games. Fine. I'm not going to tell you that it's bad to play it. It's not my style. Personally, I like what Nintendo does. I always have. Probably always will. And it's just, what I'm into. I'm not really a big online gaming kind of guy. It wasn't something that was, that I grew up with. I don't hate it necessarily. It's just, if I have a choice, I'd rather not. I mean, I'm an only child. Never, even in the same room, never really was a multiplayer kind of guy. It's one of those things where if you don't grow up with it, I think it's just not something you're into. But again, it's okay to have different opinions. If you don't like something, it's okay to say it, but don't act like because somebody likes something you don't, that it's a wrong opinion, or they're stupid, or it's some horrible wrong that needs to be righted. Somebody has a different opinion than you. And what's funny about it too, the whole WiiU thing, is that I seem to recall when there was a emulator being developed for the Wii, and I think it was for the GameCube as well. Basically, it was a way to play Wii games on your computer that upscaled them to 1080 in high definition, and everybody was marveling about how great it was, and it was. It looked really great. And why can't Nintendo make a system that does this and that sort of thing? And now they have. And they're going to be kind of cartoony style, but if you've seen even the screenshots of the games that are coming out, it's going to look really neat. Instead of complaining about something that doesn't meet your predetermined specifications that you were hoping for, when nothing was ever even hinted that they were going to match those, just enjoy what's out there. Maybe you might surprise yourself and actually like something that they put out. Just recently, I just played Kirby game for the first time not too long ago. I always thought it was, like for little kids, for babies, for girls, whatever. It's a pink ball floating around, sucking things in and spitting them out. It didn't really sound that intriguing to me. You know what? I picked up a copy and played it. It's pretty fun. I went outside my comfort zone, tried something I thought maybe, I'll like, maybe I won't. It's a little bit on the easy side. It is probably geared for younger kids, but there's still some challenge to it. I guess that's all I'm saying. If something out there is intriguing to you, give it a shot. Maybe if you think this isn't my cup of tea, you can always, buy a game. If you don't like it, trade it in. You can rent them. There's GameFly. There's places you don't have to make a $60 investment. Borrow a game from a friend or something. You never know. Maybe something you were dead set against might turn out to be something you like. And that's probably the biggest takeaway for today here. Don't discount anything. If you try something and you don't like it, that's fine. At least you gave it a shot. Otherwise, keep an open mind. You never know. Some things might just surprise you. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for now, and I'll see you guys later.